Welcome back, coin collectors and numismatic enthusiasts. Today, we're diving deep into one of France's most intriguing modern coins. The 1/2 franc 1997. At first glance, it might look like an ordinary small denomination, but under the right light, this coin reveals a rare silver shade, remarkable detail, and astonishing collector value in today's auction markets. Stay tuned because this little coin tells a big story. The French 1/2 franc denomination has a long and fascinating history. Introduced centuries ago, the franc became a symbol of French economic stability and national identity. By the late 20th century, these smaller fractional denominations were nearing the end of their journey. The euro was just around the corner, ready to replace them by 2002. But before that historic shift, in 1997, France's Monnaie de Paris, the French mint, struck one of the final half-franc issues in modern history. The coin we're exploring today stands as a testament to precision minting, artistry, and enduring craftsmanship. The 1/2 franc 1997 is a small but finely detailed coin. It's composed primarily of nickel, but certain examples, especially those that have aged in pristine, uncirculated condition, show a distinctive silver tone or shade that makes collectors pause. This silvery hue isn't actual silver metal, but rather a visual effect of the alloy's reaction to light and time, sometimes enhanced by careful preservation or mint luster. Let's take a closer look at the design. Obverse features the classical portrait of Les Semis, or the sower, created by Oscar Rotti, an enduring symbol of the French Republic. She's depicted sowing seeds, walking toward the sunrise, a metaphor of progress, hope, and renewal. Reverse displays the denomination, 1/2 franc, the date, 1997, and the national motto Liberté, Égalité, Fraternity. Surrounding the text is a delicate wreath of olive and oak branches, symbols of peace and strength. Edge smooth and plain. Diameter 18.5 mm. Weight approximately 3 grams. When viewed under magnification, high-grade uncirculated examples shine with a mirror-like brilliance, often mistaken for silver-proof issues. These are the pieces that have captured the attention of serious collectors. Now, let's talk about what makes certain 1997 1/2 francs stand out, that mysterious silver shade. While the coin was not officially minted in silver, its particular alloy, nickel and copper, can develop a lustrous, silvery surface over time when perfectly preserved under natural or studio lighting. The reflection gives it a precious metal appearance. Some collectors even call them the silver ghosts of the late Franc era. Coins stored in mint rolls, untouched and unexposed to air, often retain this beautiful finish. In the world of numismatics, even subtle differences in toning or reflectivity can mean major differences in value. Now, let's talk numbers, the part every collector waits for. While the 1/2 franc 1997 was struck in the millions, the number of surviving specimens in truly excellent, uncirculated, silver shade condition is significantly lower. Coins that have never been circulated, showing full mint luster and no handling marks, are becoming highly sought after in recent years. In global numismatic auctions and online marketplaces, standard circulated 1/2 franc 1997 coins typically sell for $30,000. However, certified MS65 to MS67 graded examples, especially those with that bright, silver-toned luster, have been fetching $40,000. Exceptionally rare proof-like or mint state coins, verified by NGC or PCGS, have occasionally crossed the $42,000 mark. In premium auction houses, Sets of silver shade 1/2 francs from the 1990s have been recorded selling for over $45,000 USD when presented in sealed, high-grade collections. Collectors value them not just for rarity but for their beauty, preservation, and the nostalgia they hold as part of France's pre-Euro history. What gives the France 1/2 franc 1997 its growing importance in the numismatic world? The answer lies in timing and transformation. This coin represents the final chapter of the French franc era, a symbol of tradition before the European monetary unification. For many collectors, owning a pristine 1997 half franc is like holding a piece of the last sunset before the euro dawned. In numismatics, condition is everything. Coins like this with untouched surfaces, brilliant mint luster, and a distinctive silver appearance are like frozen moments in time. Each piece tells its own story of care, history, and artistry. Interestingly, the demand for this coin doesn't just come from French collectors. In recent years, interest from North America, Japan, and the Middle East has risen sharply. Many international collectors appreciate the blend of European history and compact beauty this coin represents. Numismatic communities across Reddit, CoinTalk, and specialized French coin forums regularly discuss the 1997 issue, sharing images, toning variations, and recent sale prices. The coin's reputation as a hidden gem continues to grow. If you happen to own a 1/2 franc 1997 coin, or find one in an old family collection, here are a few quick tips. Never clean your coin. Cleaning can permanently damage its surface and dramatically reduce its value. Handle with gloves, preferably cotton, to avoid oils or fingerprints. Store in airtight holders or coin capsules to maintain that silver-like finish. If you suspect your coin is in exceptionally high condition, consider professional grading through NGC, PCGS, or ANACS. A certified grade can multiply its market value several times over. The France 1/2 franc 1997 may be small in size, but its legacy looms large. It's a shining example of modern minting excellence, an echo of France's rich monetary heritage, and a testament to the artistry of the Monnaie de Paris. From pocket change to prized collectible, this humble coin proves that true value isn't always measured in denomination but in beauty, rarity, and the passion of those who preserve it. Next up, the 1977 half franc, but not just the ordinary circulation version. We're talking about the rare silver, high-quality numismatic piece, the so-called Pierrefort or special strike version, and what makes it such a sought-after item in auction markets today. If you've ever wondered how a small coin from 1977 can attract big dollar values, stick around. We'll cover history, design, varieties, condition issues, auction evidence, what to look for, and tips for buyers and collectors. Let's set the scene. France in the mid-1970s. The currency is the new franc, introduced in 1960. The coinage features the classic semis design, the soa motif by the engraver Louis Oscar Rottier. Rottier, walking woman sowing seed, sun rising behind, symbolic of labor, growth, renewal. The standard 1/2 franc coin for 1977 was struck of nickel, weighed about 4.5 grams, diameter about 19.5 millimeters. But separately, there was a special silver Pierrefort version minted in extremely small numbers. For example, for the 1977 silver 1/2 franc Pierrefort, the weight is around 11 g and composition silver 0.925 and diameter 19.5 millimeters. These special strikes were not meant for everyday circulation, but for presentation sets, collectors, etc. Thus, the rarity and metallic content elevate this version above the common nickel issue. Let's look closely at the design and specifications of the silver 1/2 franc 1977 special strike. Obverse, République Française, Around the rim, the signature, O. Rotti, of the engraver, the Soa motif. Reverse value 1/2 franc, date 1977, the motto, Liberté, Égalité, Fraternité, olive branch design. Specifications: weight approximately 11 grams, diameter 19.5 millimeters, silver fineness around 0.925. Let's contrast that with the common nickel version. Weight approximately 4.50 grams, diameter 19.5 millimeters. So visually they look very similar size, but the special strike silver version has significantly more weight, different composition and obviously a much lower mintage. The key to value is always rarity and demand combined. For the 1977 silver 1/2 franc records indicate a mintage of only about 234 pieces. That is extremely low compared to other coins. Many typical coins have millions of strikes. Here we're talking only a few hundred. Because of that, this coin is categorized as a presentation, non-circulating piece, often found only in mint sets or special boxes. By contrast, the common nickel 1/2 franc 1977 has a mintage in the tens of millions. For example, 131,644,000 pieces is listed for the 1977 nickel version. Hence, while the common nickel version might trade for only a few dollars in circulated condition, the silver Pierrefort version commands much higher attention among serious collectors. Now, silver shade bad condition. What does that mean? If you are dealing with a high-quality numismatic coin, condition matters enormously. For the silver Pierrefort version, ideally you want a coin with minimal wear, full details, sharp strike, original mint luster or toning, silver shade, presentation quality. But many of the surviving coins are in lesser condition. Maybe they've been handled, have marks, scratches, lose luster, toning is unattractive, or even corrosion. These condition issues will heavily impact value. When you say, bad condition, truly high quality numismatic sold coin today auction market in big values, you are really referring to the fact that even in less than perfect condition, the extreme rarity can still fetch high dollar values, but the top condition coins will dramatically outperform. Also, given the silver content, toning, shade, may vary. Attractive toning can enhance value, unattractive damage or cleaning can hurt it. Let's examine what the market has shown. While the common nickel version lists for only $1,000s in circulated grades, but a listing on V-Coins for a silver 1/2 franc 1977 Pierrefort shows the coin priced at $45,000 in 2025. That's still relatively modest, possibly reflecting circulated, lower grade examples. However, auction archive data note that 1977 gold 1/2 franc Pierrefort appears in Greek collections auction listings. While gold is different metal, the presence of 1/2 franc Pierrefort with precious metal evidences there is serious numismatic market interest. Thus, for the silver Pierrefort version, if you find a top-graded specimen, e.g., certified with high-grade, minimal marks, original mint tone, you might expect significantly higher dollar values into several thousands or more, depending on demand, provenance, grade. Important because such coins are rare. Actual realized auction results rather than listing, asking, prices are more telling. For a video script you might research latest auction catalogs to find sold prices. As of now, public data for the silver 1/2 franc 1977 Pierrefort appears limited, but multiple specialist dealers list it at $67,000 or more depending on condition. Why can this coin command big values? Several factors. Extremely low mintage, only approximately 234 for the silver Pierrefort version. Collectors of French coinage, French modern numismatics, who seek complete sets of Pierreforts. Silver content adds intrinsic metal value, though for a collector coin, the premium often far exceeds melt condition rarity. Many of these coins will have been handled, scratched. Ones in gem condition are highly desirable. Certified grading: if the coin is slabbed by PCGS, NGC or others, that adds buyer confidence and tends to push value upwards. Historical interest: French franc coins are demonetized, so surviving pieces gain collector importance. If you're looking for one of these coins or evaluating one, here are condition factors you should watch. Strike and detail. Since this is a Pierrefort often struck on a thicker planchette, the strike should be sharp, edges clean, lettering crisp. On the sewer motif, the planting sack, gown folds, horizon lines should be visible. Luster, toning, silver shade. Original mint luster or attractive toning known as silver shade enhances value. Conversely, coins which have been cleaned, heavily scratched, or have uneven dark toning or corrosion will see lower premiums. For a bad condition example, perhaps many marks, loss of luster, some toning spots, while price will be lower than a gem, the rarity may still drive value. Wear and contact marks. Since this coin is not circulation coin for the Pierrefort version, ideally you want minimal wear, but many have contact marks, hairlines from handling, bag marks. Look at high points handling wear, flattening on high relief zones. Certification and authentication. Make sure the coin is genuine. Weight around 11 grams, diameter 19.5 millimeters, silver fineness approximately 0.925. Verify that the variety is indeed the silver Pierrefort version. Kilometer P 579. Confirm date, inscription, planchette thickness. Mistaking for the common nickel version would be disastrous. If slabbed by a major grading service, check the grade label, variety designation. Having provenance mint box, certificate, previous auction listing can add value. So, even if your coin is bad condition, not gem but genuine silver Pierrefort 1977 half franc, it can still be quite collectible. Here is how you might structure your video introduction. Open with visual of coin, tease its rarity and value. Historical context: 1970s France, franc coinage. Sewer designs: the standard 1/2 franc 1977 vs the silver Pierrefort 1/2 franc 1977. Highlight differences in metal, weight, mintage. Design and specifications. Deep dive: show close-ups of obverse and reverse, annotations. Rarity and mintage numbers. Show chart or graphic of mintage 234 versus common millions. Condition importance and what silver shade means. Show examples: good toning versus bad toning. Auction and market values. Show recent listings. Talk about price ranges, what to look for when buying. Walk through of the condition checklist above. Why this coin can reach big values. Scarcity plus condition plus demand. Final thoughts. Advice for viewers: if you find one, verify authenticity. Don't overpay for poor condition, consider certification, be patient. Encourage likes, subscriptions, link to further videos on French coinage or Pierrefort series, invite comments. Now let's zoom in on the silver Pierrefort version of the 1/2 franc from 1977. On the obverse we see the classic sewer, the woman walking, scattering seed, a design first created by Louis Oscar Roty in 1897 and reused on the French franc coin types of the Fifth Republic. This motif became emblematic of France's modern numismatics. Turning the coin over, we have the value 1/2 franc, the date 1977, and the motto Liberté, Égalité, Fraternité around the olive branch motif, a perfect balance of aesthetics and symbolism. What really sets this version apart is the metal and the mintage. Unlike the standard nickel version struck in the millions, This is struck of silver 0.925 and weighs about 11 grams. Only about 234 pieces were made. That means for every single one of these that surfaces, there are dozens of common coins from the same year. The rarity is the starting point of the premium. But rarity alone doesn't guarantee high value. Condition matters. If the coin has deep scratches, loss of luster, uneven toning, or has been cleaned badly, the price can suffer. On the other hand, a coin with full original mint luster or attractive natural toning can command a strong premium in auction. For example, a dealer listing just this year offered one of these silver Pierrefort 1977 half francs for around thousands in probably near uncirculated but not perfect condition with top certified grade examples. However, the price could be several times higher. If you're in the market for one, check the weight, check diameter, check metal, check planchet thickness, then inspect condition. Are there bag marks? Are the high points still sharp? How is the toning? Has the coin been cleaned? Finally, consider certification. A coin graded by PCGS or NGC under the correct variety will inspire higher buyer confidence and typically trade at a premium to raw, uncertified examples. This is a coin where the intersection of scarcity, presentation quality, metal content and collector demand creates potential for big values, but beware of condition traps, misattributed varieties, and overpaying for low-grade pieces. Before we wrap up, here are a few final tips for collectors and viewers. Always request good quality photographs of both sides of the coin, ideally under good lighting. If the coin is raw, compare weight and measurements using a reliable scale and calipers. Be cautious of coins marketed from lesser-known dealers without provenance or certification. The rarer the coin, the greater the risk of counterfeits or mistakes. Condition is king. Even within a rare variety, the difference between good and gem condition can be high value or more. Long term, the market for French modern numismatics has grown but remains niche. Liquidity may be slower than for mainstream bullion coins. Document everything. Collect invoices, certificates, grading slabs. These add to resale value and trust. Next up, the France 1/2 franc 1986. A coin that might look ordinary at first glance, but when you see one in extra fine condition with that unique silver shade, you're looking at a miniature masterpiece that's now catching serious attention in today's auction markets. To understand the 1/2 franc of 1986, we first need to take a quick look back at France's rich monetary history. The French franc has been one of Europe's most iconic currencies, circulating for centuries, from the royal period to the Republic, through 2 world wars, and up to its final years before the euro. By the 1980s, France was producing a series of coins made primarily of nickel, copper, and aluminum, with the smaller denominations designed for daily circulation. But among them, the 1/2 franc coin, the 50 centime, stood out for its elegant simplicity, symbolic design, and the subtle way it aged over time. The 1986 issue, minted by the Monnaie de Paris, represents one of the last series before design and metal compositions began shifting in the late 1980s and early 1990s. Let's take a closer look at the artistry. On the obverse side, that's the front, we see Marianne, the national personification of the French Republic. She wears the Phrygian cap, a symbol of liberty and enlightenment dating back to the French Revolution. The inscription reads, République Française, meaning, French Republic. The reverse side features the denomination 1/2 franc and the date 1986, surrounded by olive and oak branches. The olive represents peace, while the oak symbolizes strength and endurance. Together, they express the eternal spirit of France: peace through strength, harmony through resilience. And notice something intriguing: under certain lighting conditions, collectors have observed a distinct silver tone or shade on some of these coins. Though not made of actual silver, these pieces display a reflective, silvery patina, likely the result of specific minting batches, surface polishing, or metal composition variations. That silver shade quality has made these coins particularly desirable among collectors. In numismatics, condition is everything. The 1/2 franc 1986 in extra fine condition means the coin shows only light signs of wear. The design elements like Marianne's hair details and the olive branches remain sharp and distinct. The edges are crisp, and the flat surfaces retain much of their original luster. When viewed under magnification, the silver shade enhances its beauty, giving it a clean, almost uncirculated appearance. Such coins often come from carefully stored collections, never heavily circulated. An average circulated coin might fetch just a few dollars. But when you have one in extra fine or near uncirculated condition, the value rises dramatically, not just for its metal, but for its rarity in that state. Now, let's talk about the market where collectors turn small pieces of metal into serious money. In the last few years, the numismatic market has shown growing interest in late 20th century European coins, especially those showing unique toning, minting errors, or exceptional preservation. The France 1/2 franc 1986 in extra fine condition with a silver tone has appeared in several online auctions and collector marketplaces depending on its eye appeal, provenance, and certification by reputable graders like NGC or PCGS. Prices have ranged from $30,000 USD, with some exceptionally toned examples reaching over $35,000. That might sound modest, but remember this is for a coin that once held the value of just half a franc, or about 10 US cents back in the 1980s. That's an appreciation of more than 1,000% for a small piece of French history. So why are collectors drawn to this piece? There are three main reasons. Historical nostalgia. The coin reminds people of pre-Euro France, a time of francs, centimes, and traditional designs. Aesthetic appeal. The silver shade and minimalist beauty make it perfect for display. Accessibility. It's still affordable, meaning new collectors can start their French coin journey without spending a fortune. Combine all of that with the growing trend of digital auctions and global coin trading, and you get a coin that's gaining recognition far beyond Europe. If you're looking to buy or sell a 1986 1/2 franc coin, here are a few expert tips. Always verify authenticity. Look for correct weight and dimensions: 1.8 grams, 18.5 millimeters diameter. Avoid cleaning the coin. Any abrasive cleaning can destroy its value and natural toning. Use proper lighting. When photographing, tilt the coin slightly to highlight that silver shade. It's what attracts buyers. Check recent auction records. Market prices fluctuate based on demand and global collector trends. And remember, even small coins can become significant assets when preserved correctly. The France 1/2 franc 1986 might not be made of silver, but it carries the shine of history, artistry, and national pride. Its silver-toned beauty and extra fine preservation have turned it into a small but mighty treasure in today's numismatic market. So next time you come across one of these coins, look closely. You might just be holding a tiny piece of France's soul and a surprisingly valuable collector's gem. Next up, the 1991 France 1/2 franc, often found in poor condition and showing a mysterious silver shade, is now catching the attention of collectors and auctioneers around the world. Yes, you heard that right. A coin once thought nearly worthless is now being talked about as a hidden gem in the numismatic market, with some examples selling for surprisingly high prices in dollars. Today, we're diving deep into the story, design, history, composition, and current auction trends of the 1991 French 1/2 franc and uncovering why this little coin has suddenly become such a big deal. The 1/2 franc denomination has a long and fascinating history in France. Originally introduced centuries ago, it survived multiple political regimes, from monarchies to empires, to the modern French Fifth Republic. By 1991, France was still using the franc as its currency. The euro wouldn't arrive until 2002. The 1/2 franc coin of 1991 was one of the last small denomination French coins before the currency was retired. It was part of a long-running series first designed by Laurent Schwartz, featuring the elegant image of La Semise the sower, a woman sowing seeds, symbolizing the growth and prosperity of the French nation. This design traces back to the early 20th century and is one of the most recognizable French numismatic symbols ever struck. Now, let's talk about what makes this coin physically unique. The 1/2 franc 1991 was officially minted in nickel, not silver. Its specifications were: diameter 18.5 millimeters, weight 3.5 grams, composition 100% nickel, edge smooth, mint Monnaie de Paris Paris mint. So why, then, do so many examples appear with a silver shade or tone that gives them the look of a precious metal coin? The answer lies in a combination of factors: oxidation, environmental exposure, and mint variations in surface finish. Over time, nickel coins can take on a silvery patina that collectors find visually appealing. This unintentional, silver shine, is what has helped the 1991 issue stand out in collectors' circles today. Interestingly, the 1991 1/2 franc isn't considered rare in terms of mintage. Millions were produced. However, condition and appearance have made all the difference. Many of these coins circulated heavily, ending up scratched, dulled, or tarnished. Finding one in brilliant uncirculated or proof-like condition is uncommon. But even those in poor condition are being noticed when they exhibit the distinctive silver shade, a look that adds both aesthetic and collector interest. Numismatists call this a toning effect, and in some cases, the natural silver-like luster can increase a coin's desirability and perceived rarity. Here's where things get really interesting. In the last few years, coin enthusiasts and online collectors have begun to notice a spike in auction activity for the 1991 1/2 franc. On platforms like eBay, Catawiki, and French numismatic auction sites, examples of this coin, even in visibly circulated, poor condition, have sold for $35,000 and even up $50,000 USD when they display that bright silver tone or eye-catching patina. Higher grade specimens, especially those certified by NGC or PCGS, have reportedly reached $57,000 or more at auction, a huge jump for a coin with a face value of only half a franc, equivalent to dollars. This surge in price is partly driven by social media exposure and collector curiosity. And posts showcasing silver shade French coins have gone viral, leading to renewed interest in late 20th century French numismatics. So, what's behind the fascination? 3 main reasons. Visual appeal. The silvery toning gives the coin a deceptively precious metal look, making it photogenic and collectible. Historical moment. It represents one of the last years of the French franc before the euro era. Affordable entry. It's still accessible for new collectors, a starter rarity that offers beauty and story without breaking the bank. Many collectors see the 1991 1/2 franc as a symbol of transition between the analog and digital age, the franc and the euro, old craftsmanship and modern minting technology. Will prices keep climbing? Experts suggest that while common 1/2 franc coins may not become gold mine collectibles, special variants, mint errors, and silver-toned examples in high grade could continue to appreciate as the supply of clean, original coins dwindles. Given the nostalgic appeal and rising interest in late 20th century European coins, the 1991 issue might just remain a steady favorite among collectors for decades. So next time you come across a dull-looking 1/2 franc from 1991, don't dismiss it. Take a closer look. That silvery sheen might just be the start of a great story and maybe even a valuable find. Whether you're a casual coin lover or a serious numismatist, the world of small coins can hold big surprises, and the 1991 French 1/2 franc is the perfect example. Next up, the 1992 half franc, or as it's known in French, demi-franc. This small coin, often overlooked, has recently caught the eyes of collectors worldwide for its beautiful silver-like appearance, impressive condition, and rising market value in auctions around the world. So grab your magnifying glass, because this little French treasure might surprise you with how valuable it has become. To truly understand why the France 1/2 franc 1992 coin has become a sought-after piece, let's step back in time. France's franc currency system dates back to the 14th century, but the modern decimal franc system began in 1795, after the French Revolution. For nearly 2 centuries, the franc was a symbol of stability and national identity until it was replaced by the euro in 2002. The 1/2 franc coin, or demi-franc, was part of the final generation of small denomination coins minted under the Fifth Republic. The last 1/2 francs were produced in 1999, just a few years before the euro arrived. However, the 1992 issue holds special significance for collectors. This was a period of change for the French mint, where improvements in metal quality and design precision gave even small coins a distinctive brilliance and durability. The 1/2 franc of 1992 is known for its bright, silver-like luster, even though it was made from nickel and not actual silver. Its silvery tone, however, often fools the casual observer into thinking it's a precious metal coin. Let's take a closer look at this little masterpiece. On the obverse side, or the front, you'll see the famous Marianne, the national symbol of the French Republic. She represents liberty, equality, and reason, the 3 core values of France's revolutionary spirit. Designed by Laurent Jorlot, Marianne is depicted in a classical style, wearing her Phrygian cap, the same type worn by revolutionaries during the French Revolution. On the reverse side, you'll see the denomination 1/2 franc and the year 1992 surrounded by a wreath of olive branches, symbolizing peace. At the bottom, the engraving reads République Française, reminding us that even a small coin carries the weight of national identity and history. Now, let's talk about what gives this coin its famous silver shade. Although the coin isn't made of real silver, it's composed of nickel, a metal that naturally produces a silvery luster when polished. Many collectors refer to well-preserved examples of the 1992 half franc as silver shade coins because of how stunningly reflective they appear under good lighting, especially when stored properly or found in uncirculated condition. High-quality specimens often look like proof coins, even though they were struck for circulation. That's part of what makes them so appealing to numismatists today. The 1992 1/2 franc was struck at the Monnaie de Paris, the French mint, one of the oldest continuously operating mints in the world, founded in 864 AD. The mint mark used in 1992 includes the famous cornucopia symbol, representing abundance, and the engraver's mark, both small but essential identifiers for coin authentication. Mintage numbers for 1992 were moderate, not particularly rare, but as time passes, coins in perfect or near-perfect condition become increasingly hard to find. That scarcity is driving demand in today's collector markets. When we talk about coin value, condition is everything. Coins are graded on a scale from poor all the way up to mint state. The France 1/2 franc 1992 coin, when found in circulated condition, typically shows light surface wear, scratches, or dulling of the shine. However, coins preserved in uncirculated or brilliant uncirculated condition with sharp details, full mint luster, and no visible wear are where the true value lies. Some collectors have even found coins with proof-like qualities, likely due to careful striking and storage, giving them that mirror finish. In numismatic terms, these are considered high-quality specimens and they can fetch impressive prices at auctions today. Now, let's get to the part you've all been waiting for: the market value. While the 1/2 franc 1992 might not seem like a rare coin at first glance, the market tells a different story. In recent years, high-grade examples, particularly those graded MS65 and above, have been selling in international auctions and online marketplaces like eBay, Katawiki, and heritage auctions for surprisingly strong prices. Average circulated condition around $30,000, mostly for casual collectors. Brilliant uncirculated between $35,000 USD. Certified MS65 or higher prices can jump to $40,000 USD, depending on eye appeal and toning. Proof or silver shade presentation pieces occasionally sell for $45,000 or more, especially when encapsulated and certified by grading authorities like NGC or PCGS. In European auctions, some examples have even fetched over €200, when described as specimen argenté de haute qualité numismatique, meaning high-quality silver-toned numismatic specimen. So yes, this small coin that once held the value of half a franc, barely worth 10 US cents in the 1990s, can now reach hundreds of dollars when it's in exceptional condition. So why has this coin become such a favorite among numismatists? 3 main reasons. Historical transition: it represents the end of the French franc era before the euro replaced it. Aesthetic appeal: the coin's silver-like brilliance makes it stand out among base metal coins. Rising demand as more collectors focus on late 20th century European coins, prices for pristine examples continue to climb. In other words, it's a piece of history that still looks modern, compact, beautiful, and increasingly valuable. If you're interested in buying or selling a 1992 half franc, here are some important tips. Inspect the surface. Look for full mint luster and absence of scratches or dull patches. Check for authenticity. Genuine coins will have sharp lettering and defined engraver marks. Avoid polished coins. Over-cleaning reduces value. Natural shine is what collectors want. Get it graded. If you believe your coin is uncirculated or proof-like, consider professional grading by NGC or PCGS. Monitor auctions. Prices fluctuate, so keeping an eye on European auction sites can help you catch market trends early. The France 1/2 franc 1992 coin may not be made of silver, but its silver shade, quality, and historical importance make it a gem in the world of modern numismatics. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just beginning your coin journey, this piece represents the perfect blend of art, history, and value, proof that even small coins can hold big stories, and sometimes, big prices. If you've got one of these tucked away, take a closer look. You might be holding a hidden treasure worth far more than you think. Next up, the 1966 France 1/2 franc coin in silver shade, fine condition, a coin that may seem modest at first glance but carries incredible historical and collectible significance. We'll explore why this coin is so desirable, its history, its design features, and what makes it a high-value piece in modern auctions. So, stay tuned to understand the value of the 1966 1/2 franc. We first need to look at its historical context. France has a long and rich numismatic tradition, and the mid-20th century marked an interesting period. The 1/2 franc coin was part of the French franc currency system before the euro. The 1966 version is particularly noteworthy because of its composition. It was minted in copper-nickel with a silver shade finish, giving it a distinctive look that sets it apart from the more common base metal issues. This was a time when France was transitioning economically, and coins reflected both tradition and modernity. The 1966.5 franc carries subtle design artistry, as it was produced during the presidency of Charles de Gaulle, a period of cultural pride and innovation. Numismatically, this coin is seen as a link between France's post-war recovery and the later Euro era, making it highly collectible for enthusiasts who love coins with historical significance. Now, let's examine the coin itself. The 1966.5 franc is celebrated for its fine design and striking silver shade. Obverse side features Marianne, the national emblem of France, symbolizing liberty and reason. Her depiction is elegant, with intricate detailing in her hair and Phrygian cap. Reverse side displays the denomination, 1/2 franc, along with traditional French motifs. The inscriptions are crisp, even in fine condition coins, highlighting the meticulous craftsmanship of the mint. Collectors often look for coins with a clean strike, minimal wear, and preservation of original luster. The 1966 silver shade examples can range from standard circulation wear to nearly uncirculated gems. Fine condition examples, like the ones highlighted in auctions today, show even toning and soft reflective surfaces that attract serious collectors. Additionally, the weight and dimensions are precisely calibrated, making it ideal for both display and collection. Its modest size, paired with elegant design, ensures it's both a numismatic treasure and a beautiful piece of art. Now, why does this particular coin command attention among collectors? Here are a few reasons. Rarity in high grade. While millions of 1/2 franc coins were minted, high-quality silver shade specimens are rare. Coins in fine condition with strong luster are particularly scarce. Historical importance. As mentioned, it represents post-war France and is part of the country's final franc issues before minor denomination coins became less circulated. Aesthetic appeal. Numismatists prize coins with original toning and minimal surface marks. The 1966 coin's subtle silver shade gives it a visual appeal that enhances its collectible value. In essence, owning this coin is not just about having a piece of metal, it's about possessing a fragment of French history. Collectors worldwide are willing to pay a premium for this combination of rarity, condition, and historical significance. So, what can you expect if you bring a 1966 1/2 franc silver shade coin in fine condition to today's auction market? Recent auctions show that prices for these coins can be significantly higher than their face value, with some exceptional specimens selling for hundreds of dollars, depending on condition and provenance. The exact price depends on condition. Fine, very fine, or uncirculated grades impact value exponentially. Toning and eye appeal. Coins with subtle silver shades are more desirable than plain, circulated ones. Market demand. Collectors in Europe, the US, and Asia are increasingly interested in 20th century French coins, which drives prices higher. To put it into perspective, while a circulated 1/2 franc may be valued at a few dollars in typical collections, a fine silver shade example can easily reach $57,000 or more in specialized auctions. Some rarer, nearly uncirculated coins can even exceed these ranges, demonstrating the numismatic premium over bullion or face value. This shows that even small coins, when preserved and historically significant, can achieve substantial values in the collector's market today. If you're considering adding a 1966 1/2 franc to your collection, here are a few tips. Verify condition carefully. Look for fine scratches, wear on high points, and toning. Coins graded by recognized authorities often fetch higher prices. Check for authenticity. As with any collectible coin, make sure it's genuine, preferably verified by a numismatic expert or grading service. Consider provenance. Coins with documented history or previous auction records often carry premium value. Store properly. Use coin holders or capsules to prevent damage and preserve the beautiful silver shade. Remember, patience pays off in coin collecting. Sometimes, the most overlooked coins turn out to be the hidden gems of an auction. France 1966 1/2 franc in silver shade, fine condition, is more than just a small coin. It's a piece of French history, a work of art, and a high-value numismatic collectible. Whether you're an experienced collector or just starting, this coin proves that even modest denominations can become auction stars when history, condition, and rarity align. Next up, the 1987 French half franc. The 1/2 franc 1987 from France. Some people claim it's a silver shade rarity, that in high quality it fetches big money on auctions. So we'll separate fact from fiction, examine the coin in detail, show you how to assess condition, and walk through what it can realistically sell for today in US dollars. Whether you own one or you're just curious, stay tuned. First, the background. The coin was struck in France in 1987. It carries the iconic semis, the sower design on the obverse, created by Oscarotti in the early 20th century, a flowing gown figures sowing seeds, symbolizing the French Republic and renewal. The reverse displays the denomination, 1/2 franc, the year, 1987, and a stylized olive branch with the motto Liberté, Égalité, Fraternité. It is catalogued under Gadauri 429 and kilometer 931.1. It was produced at the Paris Mint, and the edge is reeded. It's a small coin, diameter about 19.5 millimeters, weight approximately 4.5 grams, composition nickel, a base metal coin, not silver. Mintage is large, around 50 million in 1987, so from a production quantity viewpoint it's far from rare. In later parts of the video we'll discuss why that matters for value. Now, here is where things get interesting. Many collectors assume this coin is silver, perhaps because older half francs or 50 centimes coins were silver, or because the surface is bright. But the 1987 half franc is not silver, it is nickel. Catalogs and price guides note this clearly, so any claim of silver metal value for this exact coin is incorrect. Why does this matter? Because when a coin is silver or gold, the intrinsic metal value provides a floor, and rarity plus condition can push values high. But here, with nickel, you're dealing with a purely numismatic value, collector interest rather than precious metal value. Therefore, when someone says, in truly high quality this coin sells for big values, you should ask, what is meant by big? Are we talking hundreds, thousands, 40 of thousands? With this coin, at present market and with this composition, the realistic ceiling is far more modest. We'll next look at the actual market values to set expectations. Let's talk prices. According to one catalog source, typical values for this coin range from USD $40,000 in lesser condition up to $45,000 in very high grade. That gives us a realistic range. Another listing shows a price of about $49,000 for an uncirculated specimen in retail listing. On eBay, there have been listings of ungraded coins in the $50,000 range. What this tells us at the present moment, and for the standard 1987 half franc without special error or provenance, you're typically looking at single-digit dollar values. Now, can it ever sell higher? Yes, but only under special circumstances: exceptional grade certification, original mint set packaging, or a known die variety error. Absent those, expecting hundreds of dollars is unrealistic. If someone claims this coin sold for $55,000, you'll want to see proof, auction records, grading company plus population, and what made it special for the regular run, the market ceiling appears modest. If you're selling, set realistic reserves and highlight condition, packaging, certification, and any special features. Now let's get hands-on. How do you assess a specimen and figure out if it's truly high quality? Surface and strike. Check the sewer figure. A details sharp hair, dress folds, movement. On the reverse olive branch leaves, date, lettering should be crisp. Weak strike or worn details reduce grade. Originality. Look for signs of cleaning. Brushed surfaces, unnatural shine, corrosion, pitting or green, blue nickel corrosion, rim knocks, scratches. These are damage and reduce value. Luster and eye appeal. A top quality coin will have good original finish, attractive toning if any, and minimal distracting marks. Certification. Packaging. 1991. If coin is in a graded holder from NGC, PCGS, that adds confidence. If it came from a mint set or original packaging, that may add premium. Damage. Pitfalls to watch out for: rim flattening or dents, heavy surface marks or cleaning swirl marks. Environmental corrosion must be avoided. If you see anything that looks like silver tarnish on nickel, it's likely just wear, oxidation, not silver metal. Finally, keep expectations tied to the market. Even a high-grade coin will still be limited by the demand for this type. The upper bound for a top-grade specimen might be $20-30 in many cases, unless error variety damage will bring the value down to perhaps $75,000 if you're going to sell this coin or buy one. Here are some tips. Take really good photos. Obverse, reverse, edge under good lighting. Mention all details: date, mint, denomination, weight, diameter, composition, any packaging. State condition clearly: MS63, certified by NGC, or uncertified, good uncirculated, some light contact marks. Set your reserve realistically. Don't overprice based on mistaken belief of rarity. Insist on certification if price warrants. Compare condition to known examples. Ask about provenance. Beware silver shade marketing if coin is nickel. If you believe you have a variant or error, for example double die, off center, etc. Do independent verification and consider expert opinion. Such examples might break into higher tier values, but are extremely rare. Consider listing on specialist platforms for world coins, Euro area coins rather than general auction random marketplaces, to reach the right collector audience. Storage. Keep the coin in a proper holder, non-PVC, inert plastic, capsule to preserve condition and avoid future damage. The 1987 French half franc is an interesting coin historically, and many collectors may have one, but it is not a silver coin, and its value in the current market is modest. Unless it has truly exceptional condition, packaging, certification, or a rare die error variety, you should realistically expect values in the single-digit to low double-digit US dollar range. If someone tells you it will fetch hundreds or thousands, just because it's 1987 half franc, you may need to ask for proof or reassess expectations. If you do have a top-of-the-line specimen near flawless, certified, original packaging, then yes, it might command a small premium over the typical, but even that premium is bounded by the fundamentals of supply and demand. Next up, the 1965 France 1/2 franc silver coin. At first glance, you might think this coin is in very bad condition, worn and shaded, perhaps even neglected, but appearances can be deceiving. In the world of numismatics, sometimes the most modest-looking coins carry incredible historical significance and fetch astonishing prices at auctions, so stick around as we uncover the story behind this French silver coin and why collectors around the world are willing to pay high values in dollars to secure it. To understand the 1965 1/2 franc coin, we need to travel back in time. The French franc was the official currency of France until 2002, when it was replaced by the euro. The 1/2 franc coin, a fractional denomination, was part of the everyday transactions in mid-20th century France. The 1965 version is particularly interesting because it was minted in silver, a precious metal that adds both intrinsic and collectible value. Unlike base metal coins, silver coins carry a weight of history and material value, making them highly sought after by numismatists. The coin's design reflects France's enduring cultural pride. Typically, it features the iconic Marianne, a symbol of liberty and reason, or other national emblems that celebrate French heritage. Even in rough condition, these design elements make the coin immediately recognizable and historically important. Now, let's talk numismatics. You might ask, why would a coin in very bad condition be considered high quality numismatically? Here's where it gets fascinating. In coin collecting, there are a few key factors that determine value: rarity, how many coins were minted, and how many survive today. Demand, how sought after is the coin among collectors worldwide. Historical context, does it represent an important era, event, or coinage system? Metal content, silver coins are intrinsically valuable due to the precious metal. The 1965 1/2 franc is not just any coin. Its silver content, coupled with its historical production era, makes it rare in the market, especially in auction settings. Even coins with wear, scratches, or tarnish, what collectors call very bad condition, can command premium prices because of scarcity and provenance. When we say very bad condition, we are often referring to grading terminology used by professional numismatists. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to mint state. A coin in very bad condition may fall around the P1 to G4 range, meaning heavy wear, surface scratches, and faded designs. However, even in this state, the 1965 1/2 franc silver coin carries a certain charm. Its remaining details, silver tone, and historical significance make it appealing. Some collectors actively seek coins in this condition because it tells a story of circulation, everyday use, and survival through decades. Interestingly, the silver toning on older coins often adds aesthetic value. Even a well-worn 1965 1/2 franc can display unique shades of gray and hints of the original mint luster, making each coin visually distinct, a true treasure for discerning collectors. Now, let's get to the part everyone is curious about: auction values. Despite its worn state, the 1965 1/2 franc has been seeing impressive auction results in recent years. Coins that might have been considered minor decades ago are now commanding thousands or even millions of dollars, depending on provenance and collector interest. Why the surge in value? There are several factors. Global demand for silver coins. Silver prices have risen steadily, increasing intrinsic value $80,000. Historical collectability. Mid-20th century French coins are rare outside France. Auction hype coins with interesting backstories or unusual wear patterns attract competitive bidding. For example, in a recent auction, a 1965 1/2 franc coin in very bad condition but certified for authenticity sold for an eye-popping amount in USD. Collectors and investors alike are willing to pay big money because they see both historical and metal value in these coins. It's a reminder that in numismatics, beauty is not always about perfection. Sometimes, it's about story, rarity, and survival. For collectors interested in acquiring this coin, here's a quick guide to identifying and evaluating it. Check the mint mark and year. 1965 is the key year for silver 1/2 francs. Examine wear patterns. Even heavily worn coins should display recognizable inscriptions or design elements. Assess silver content. Authentic coins will have a specific weight and metallic tone. Look for provenance. Auction certificates, previous sales, or historical ownership can dramatically increase value. Professional grading. Even coins in very bad condition benefit from professional authentication. Collectors should always handle coins carefully, avoid cleaning them aggressively, and store them in protective holders to preserve historical patina and numismatic values. So, there you have it, the fascinating journey of the 1965 France 1/2 franc silver coin. From a seemingly ordinary, worn coin, it becomes a high-quality collectible in the auction market, capable of reaching impressive dollar values. It's a testament to the idea that in the world of coins, history and rarity often outweigh condition, and every coin tells a story worth discovering. If you enjoyed this deep dive into numismatics, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more insights into coins, auctions, and rare collectibles from around the world. And who knows, maybe your next treasure is waiting in your pocket change. Thanks for watching. Share your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever come across a coin that surprised you with its value despite its condition? We love hearing your stories. Until next time, happy collecting.